This is The Bottom Line. The Bottom Line on 938 Live.
Experts are highlighting a new trend in property investments, medical suites. According to property consultant JLL, total investment in medical suites reached close to $95 million in the first quarter of this year. That's compared to $67 million in the same period a year ago. But first, Karamjit Singh, head of investments and research at JLL, tells 938 Live's Travis Teo what medical suites really are.
Well, medical suites are strata title units within commercial zone properties which have been approved by the authorities for use for medical activities and medical services. So like medical specialist clinics needs to be housed in medical suites.
Right, Karamjit. And at the moment, are we seeing supply not meeting the demand of medical suites in Singapore?
Well, there are probably about 8,000 registered doctors here in Singapore. Out of the 8,000 registered doctors, we understand there are about 3,600 specialists. So against 3,600 specialist doctors, at the moment there are less than 2,000 medical suites in the market. And that includes those under construction and those that are owned as well as for lease. So if you look at the two, it does point to a general supply-demand imbalance.
Do you see investment in medical suites going up progressively through the years?
Well, certainly what's happening is that medical suites have been around in the marketplace, but that used to be an asset class that was restricted only to doctors. So it was never an asset class that was widely open to non-doctors investors. So that started changing with some developers building medical suites who were willing to sell to non-doctors. And that process started a few years back. And so it's only now emerged as an alternative investment class for non-doctors investors.
Right. Did something change in the environment that make it such that developers are marketing their medical suites at non-doctors?
Well, not really. It's just that the medical suites community was largely concentrated around several key established hospitals, mostly in around Orchard Road. And then when demand kept on going up, that's when it gave rise to decentralized medical hubs such as those in Novena, Farrer Park now. And because it's a relatively new phenomena, so few developers have now got into the act of acquiring land and building medical suites as part of a larger scale project. And with that, because they're in the business of building and profit maximization and looking towards selling to the widest audience possible, they've come around to figure that it's probably good an idea to open up to non-doctors.
And particularly for the Farrer Square medical suites, do you expect a large percentage of these suites to be taken up by non-doctors? What are your expectations?
Our expectations is that it will still largely appeal to doctors and to specialists. And I'm quite sure there will be some investors who will be very happy to be able to acquire it. But in a way also we are giving somewhat a priority to specialist doctors because it is also in their self-interest to ensure that the occupants remain only doctors, such that you don't have a dilution of the unit mix or the occupant mix, and it remains purely as a medical center. And that's important. And a doctor buying into that would want to see the sanctity of it remains uncompromised.